Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to season episode 27, overall 357 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210. Tell them Chris Palme sent you. And you can also email them at info@barrycullen.com as well. I hope everyone's doing well on this Friday, January 19th, 2024. And unfortunately, it looks like my guest, Ashley Baker, who was scheduled to come on today at 12 o'clock. She's a reporter with Fox Sports Radio 1340 out of Virginia, is under the weather. So unfortunately, Ashley won't be on today due to an illness. And I will try to reschedule with Ashley in the future. So we'll do a bit of a solo show today. I hope everyone's doing well on this Friday, January 19th. I was busy last night doing some filming for Griff Vision at the University of Guelph for their annual Frosty Mug game between the Lakehead Thunderbirds and the Guelph Griffins. And Guelph won that game 5-1 before, I think, 4,700, 4,800 university students. So that was a good experience as well. So looking forward to this weekend. We got the NFL divisional round games going on, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them as well. We've got Houston and Baltimore on Saturday at 4:15, or 4:30, pardon me. Green Bay at San Francisco at 8:15, and then Sunday, Tampa Bay and Detroit at 3 o'clock, and then Kansas City and Buffalo at 6:30 at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. It looks like the weather is going to be okay. I don't think they're going to get any more snow on Sunday in the Orchard Park, Buffalo area, but it will be extremely cold weather as well. And I actually got some news from the Bills this morning, and this is courtesy of Tracy Wolfson from CBS Sports. She's a sideline reporter for them. I was just on her Twitter page, and for the Bills, they've just confirmed, the Buffalo Bills have confirmed, wide receiver Gabe Davis is out, safety Taylor Rapp is out, cornerback Christian Benford's out, and linebacker Balin Spector is going to be out of the lineup as well. And then they have three other players, Bernard, Sam Martin, and I can't remember who the third one is, that are questionable. So the Buffalo Bills finally do have home field advantage against the Kansas City Chiefs at Highmark Stadium, but they're going to be playing with a seriously banged up, depleted defense against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and those Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Kansas City looks fairly healthy coming into this game, and we'll see what happens. But the Bills have beaten the Chiefs 3 straight times in the regular season, but the Chiefs have won 2 straight in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. The 2020 AFC Championship game, 38-24, and then a couple years ago in the 13-second game, the Chiefs rallied to win 42-36 in overtime. So, in my personal opinion here, I think the Bills have a chance to win this game being at home, but I think Josh Allen and the Bills offense is going to have to score at least 30 points. If the Bills can offensively get 30 points, I think they can win this game. Their defense is banged up, and they've lost a lot of good quality players. Trey White, their cornerback, and Matt Milano, their old pro linebacker. So we'll see. It's going to be Andy Reid against Sean McDermott again. And McDermott was a part of Andy Reid's coaching staff in Philadelphia from 1999 to 2010. So, guys, I'm going to give you my preview picks I did the other day. I posted it on TikTok and on Twitter, and I'm going to put it on here right now. And you guys feel free to comment if you agree with this or not, my picks or not. So 1 second, and we're going to play this right now. Comment in here. Are you ready for some football? We have the AFC and NFC divisional games this weekend, and I'm excited for all these games, and I think it's going to be great. The first game is the upstart Cinderella Houston Texans, led by head coach DeMarco Ryan. PJ Stroud, the Ohio State alumni, sensation performance in his first game against the Cleveland Browns, but they are against the Baltimore Ravens, the #1 team in the NFL right now, on the road. And I'm going to go with Baltimore winning this game 24-14 over Houston. Second game is at 8:15 Saturday night, and again it's the upstart Green Bay Packers, led by head coach Matt LaFleur and first-year starter Jordan Love, who's replacing legends like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Outstanding performance against the Dallas Cowboys, 48 points in their 48-32 win over Dallas. Green Bay's coming into this game as huge underdogs against the #1 team in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers, and Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey and head coach Kyle Shanahan. Unfortunately, I think the Packers' season's going to end like the Texans. I think San Francisco's a better football club. Being at home at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, I've got the Niners winning this game 30-17. 30-17 Niners over the Green Bay Packers. And then Sunday, we have two games. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit, 3 p.m. on NBC from Ford Field in Detroit. And I've got the Lions winning this game 23-20. 23-20 Lions over the Bucs. It's going to come down to a last-minute field goal. I think it's going to be a very competitive, close game between Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff, and we'll see what happens there. And then the Sunday night game, 6:30. This is going to be round 3 of the Chiefs and Bills, who have met twice in the playoffs the last few years, with the Chiefs winning the AFC Championship game 38-24. The Chiefs winning the 13-second game 42-36 in overtime. And now round 3 is actually going to be at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, the home of the Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes, Allen, Isaac Pacheco, James Cook, Sean McVay. This is going to be like a Super Bowl as far as I'm concerned. But unfortunately, I've got to go with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 6-2 on the road, and they have the #2 defense in the National Football League. And also, not just those reasons, the Buffalo Bills are banged up heavily on their defense. I just think the Chiefs Super Bowl, winning 2 Super Bowls, being in 3, plus they've beaten the Bills before on a last-second Harrison Butker field goal as well. So those are my predictions. I went 5-0 last week, and we'll see what we do this week. Let me know what you think of my NFL picks and predictions, and please feel free to comment and check out my Live with CDP Sports Talk this Saturday with Alex Gold from 6:10 a.m. Sports Radio in Kansas City. Talk to you guys soon. All right, guys, that was courtesy of my YouTube channel. If you guys would like to subscribe, go on to Chris Palme Live with CDP Sports Podcast and hit the notification letter as well. And I'm looking forward to my next show tomorrow at 12:30. Tomorrow, Saturday, January 20th at 10:30, or sorry, Saturday, January 20th at 12:30 Eastern with Alex Gold. He's the radio personality of the Cody Tapp and Alex Gold show, weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern on radio station 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City. So Alex Gold is going to come on and talk about the 2023 Kansas City Chiefs and preview the Chiefs game against the Buffalo Bills as well. And the reason why I'm picking the teams that I picked, Houston and Baltimore, I feel Baltimore at home under John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson. We'll see if Mark Andrews, the great tight end, can play. He's questionable with the left ankle. Baltimore's had so many good teams the last few years, and they haven't been able to get it done. And I really feel this is the year that Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh get this Ravens team back to a Super Bowl. So, and Houston's had a great year under first-year head coach DeMarco Ryans and rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud. I just can't see Houston going into Baltimore and upsetting the Ravens, who are the best team in the National Football League as of now with their record. So that's why I got Baltimore winning 24-14. Green Bay at San Francisco. This is an intriguing matchup. San Francisco is the number one seed in the NFC. They're a talented team that's physical on both sides of the ball. The Niners will be at home at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, and the Packers upset. I think they upset Dallas last week, 48-32. I can't see the Packers scoring 48 points against this Niners defense. I think Jordan Love is going to be a franchise quarterback for Green Bay. I think he's really good, but I have to go with the Niners at home just because of their playoff experience, and they are built for the playoffs. And I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey on Saturday night against that Packer defense. I think the Packers defense is weak on the run, and I think San Francisco is going to run Christian McCaffrey at them. And they got so many weapons too, especially with Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey and the big tight end George Kittle. So I got to go with the Niners to win this game, 30-17 over the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. And then the Sunday games, Tampa Bay at Detroit. The Detroit Lions are hosting their second consecutive playoff game for the first time in their history. That is hard to believe. The Detroit Lions have been around for 90 plus years, and this is the first time they've ever hosted two straight home playoff games in the same season in Detroit. And they're taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who came off an impressive 32-9 win over my Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to go with the Lions to win this game. I think being at home at Ford Field helps, and I think this crowd at Ford Field is going to be jacked up for the Lions, and I'm going to go with the Lions to win this game 23-20. But I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa Bay upsets Detroit. But I think this game's going to be really good. It's 3:00 on Sunday Night Football as well. And then the last game, Kansas City at Buffalo at 6:30 from Orchard Park, New York. It's going to be extremely cold there, and I don't think they're expecting any more snow, but this is going to be their I think the Chiefs and Bills have met 6 times since 2020, and they're 3-3. The Bills are 0-2 against the Chiefs in the playoffs, and they are 3-1 in the last 4 regular season games against the Chiefs. But the Chiefs have their number in the playoffs, and you're going against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Isaac Pacheco, Chris Clark, and Rashard Rice. The rookie receiver has really stepped up his game with the Chiefs. And I forgot to mention future Hall of Fame tight end Travis Kelce. The Chiefs right now are healthy on both sides of the ball, and they can win on the road. They're 6-2 on the road this year, and they have the number 2 defense. So the Chiefs and the cold weather and the snow in Buffalo, they've had to deal with that in Kansas City at Arrowhead, so that's not going to be a factor. The Chiefs know how to win on the road, and I'm sticking with them. I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win this game 20-17. I think Mahomes is going to pull out a last second drive to win this game for the Chiefs, but I think it'll be 20-17. Josh Allen obviously is still a threat. James Cook, Dalton Kincaid. The Bills offensively, I think they can score enough to win this game, but their defense is seriously banged out. And I just mentioned who's going to be out of their lineup again today: Gabe Davis, Taylor Rapp, Christian Bedford, and linebacker Balin Spector. And then they're still waiting to hear on Terrell Bernard and punter Sam Martin and then another player. I can't remember who it is, but the Bills are definitely banged up on defense, already missing Matt Milano and Trey White, their Pro Bowl cornerback. So I just think the Chiefs being healthy at this time of the year, and the Chiefs know how to win. And everybody's making a big deal. Oh, this is Mahomes' first ever playoff road game, but this Mahomes is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's already won 2 Super Bowls. He's won 3 MVPs or 2 MVPs. You can't go against him. And I just feel Buffalo has too many injuries on their defense. And I think the Chiefs are going to be able to run the ball with Isaac Pacheco. And I think Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be a threat out of the backfield as well. Everyone talks about Josh Allen's scrambling ability. Patrick Mahomes can do that too. And I just think the Bills have just too many injuries on their their defensive side of the ball against a quality Kansas City team. And everyone's picking the Bills or whatever, but Kansas City are the defending Super Bowl champions. Until somebody beats them, you know what I mean? And the Bills have had two opportunities and they haven't done it. So until the Bills prove they can beat the Chiefs in the postseason and the playoffs, in the real season, I call it, I'm going to go with Kansas City to win this game 20-17. Some other NFL news: the Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews is still questionable with a left ankle injury. And some other NFL news: the Dallas Cowboys, as per Jerry Jones, are going to bring back Mike McCarthy for another 12-win season and another playoff disappointment next year. I guess Jerry is loyal to his head coaches, as he kept Jason Garrett for 10 years, and now McCarthy is going to be back for his fifth year in Dallas. So, hey, as an NFL fan, that's fine with me. I think McCarthy's a good regular season head coach, but in the playoffs, it's a totally different story. And also, the Pittsburgh Steelers look like Mike Tomlin's going to remain with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he is looking for an offensive coordinator there as well. And also, the Philadelphia Eagles right now, off their I call it a meltdown. They were 10-1 and they lost 5 out of their last 6 regular season games, and then they were blown out by Tampa Bay in the playoffs 32-9. I guess Nick Sirianni is going to be meeting with Jeffrey Lurie today, the Eagles owner, and we'll see what happens with that. My personal opinion, thinks Nick Sirianni is going to get another year, because how do you fire a coach that took you to a Super Bowl last year and should have won a Super Bowl? But they did that with Doug Peterson. Within a couple years of winning a Super Bowl, they did fire Doug Peterson. So you can't put anything past Jeffrey Lurie, but I really do think Nick Sirianni, if he does come back next year for the Eagles in 2024, is going to have a whole new entire coaching staff, defensively and offensively, if he keeps his job. And the Eagles are going to have to, Howie Roseman, their GM and president, is going to have to make some changes with the roster as well. So it's going to be interesting times there. And also some other football news, guys. Ohio State Buckeyes have recently announced they've hired former Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien as their new offensive coordinator. And some CFL news: Drew Brown, who is the backup to Zach Collaros in Winnipeg the last couple of years, has been traded to Ottawa. I think this is a great move for Ottawa. Jeremiah Mazzoli is at the end of his career. He's had a couple of major injuries, and I think Drew Brown can be that franchise quarterback the Ottawa Red Blacks desperately need as well. And as their news, the Toronto Argonauts traded one of my favorite players, but this is a business. They traded wide receiver Curly Gittens Jr. to the Elks for defensive end Jake Sarezna. I think Sarezna. I hope I pronounced that right. So the Argos got themselves some defensive end help with him. And I think Curly Gittens Jr. will be motivated to prove that he can still play. Last year, he had an injury-riddled season with the Argonauts, and he will be reunited with McLeod Bethel Thompson with the Edmonton Elks as well, who just signed with him. I think Chris Jones is going to get that Edmonton Elks team very competitive. And Saskatchewan brought in Corey Mace from the Toronto Argonauts. So I really look for Saskatchewan and Edmonton next year in the West to be very improved football teams as well. And Curly Gittens Jr., I've had him on my show and I've interviewed him. He's a good guy. So I wish Curly nothing but the best in Edmonton with the Edmonton Elks, and hopefully he wears that number 19 there as well. Some NHL news: the Red Wings, who are 23-16-5, come off a 3-2 win over Florida, are in Carolina tonight. The Red Wings are currently in the number 1 wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. They're also behind the Toronto Maple Leafs by 1 point in the standings, so we'll see what happens there. But the Red Wings have been playing well. Unfortunately, Patrick Kane has a lower body injury right now, so I'm not sure how long he's going to be out of the lineup. But the Red Wings have been getting really good goaltending lately from Alex Lyons specifically, who I think should be their number 1 goalie. And their backup goalie is James Reimer, who has done okay as well. So, yeah, Red Wings and Hurricanes tonight at 7 o'clock. Oh, I forgot to mention this too. The New England Patriots hired their 15th head coach in NFL history and their first black head coach in Gerard Mayo, who was a linebacker from the Patriots from 2008 to 2015. I think excellent hire for the New England Patriots. I think he's going to be a very good head coach for the New England Patriots. He obviously has some big footprints or footsteps to follow in Bill Belichick, who was there for 24 years, but Gerard Mayo, the new head coach of the New England Patriots going forward to 2024. And we'll see what happens with Bill Belichick, who's been interested in the Atlanta Falcons job, and also with Jim Harbaugh. It's going to be interesting to see if Harbaugh comes back to the NFL or stays with the Michigan Wolverines. Fingers crossed he stays with Michigan. But hey, Jim Harbaugh has done his job in Michigan. I brought a national championship to Michigan for the first time in 26 years. He's brought him 3 straight Big Ten championships and 3 straight wins against Ohio State. So Jim Harbaugh really doesn't have much to prove left in college football. So my gut feeling is he will be in the NFL, but I'm hoping he stays in the college football. So we'll see what happens there. JJ McCarthy and Blake Corum have announced they're going to go in the NFL draft. The good news is Donovan Edwards, their other fine running back, will be back with Michigan next year as well. So go blue, and it's exciting times right now for football in Michigan, with the Michigan Wolverines just winning the national championship and the Detroit Lions winning their first playoff game against the Rams 24-23 the other night at Ford Field for their first playoff win in over 3 decades. And now they get to host a second straight home game at Ford Field, and it's going to be crazy there. And if some of you guys haven't checked out my podcast radio show last week, I had Dan Miller on, the voice of the Detroit Lions on 97.1 The Ticket, and the sports director for Fox 2 in Detroit. And Dan has been calling the Lions games since 2005, and including that horrible 0-16 season in 2008. So check out my interview with Dan Miller on my YouTube channel, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio as well. Again, guys, my next live with CDP Sports Talk Season 7, Episode 28, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet, and weeknights here at 8 p.m. on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM. It's going to be tomorrow, Saturday, January 20th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, with my guest, Alex Gold, radio personality on 610 AM Sports Radio in Kansas City. And I'm looking forward to speaking to Alex. This will be his first time on my show about the Kansas City Chiefs and previewing their game against the Buffalo Bills. One question I wanted to ask you guys as well. What did you think of the wild card games this past weekend? Which team surprised and disappointed you? Obviously, the team that surprised was the Packers. I did pick the Packers to win 28-27 over Dallas, but I didn't expect them to go into Dallas and hammer the Cowboys and their defense 48-32. Dallas did get 16 garbage points at the end of the game, because it was really 48-16, but Green Bay a little bit with 6 minutes left let up. So Dallas made it look closer than it should have been, but Green Bay basically is my surprise team going in there and destroying the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. Dallas hadn't lost a home game in 2 years. So that was the team that surprised last week the most. The most disappointing team, I guess it's a tie between the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia has just melted down and been broken for 7 weeks, and they just didn't show up against Tampa Bay, losing 32-9. They looked awful. And Dallas. So I would say there's a tie between Dallas and Philly, because they're not just big market cities. The expectations were the Eagles were supposed to be back in the Super Bowl this year, and the Dallas Cowboys ended up winning the NFC East at 12-5, and they hadn't lost a home game in Dallas in 2 years. So I would say Dallas and Philadelphia are the 2 disappointments, and Green Bay is the biggest shocks as well. As always, guys, Live with CDP Sports Talk is a weekly sports and entertainment talk show hosted by yours truly, Chris Palme. Is always on weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, the home of Southern sports and talk, the heartbeat of Atlanta. Our radio station's website is wqeefm.radio12345.com if you'd like to listen to my show there as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram thanks to StreamYard.com. You can also follow my website and my digital media work at beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme, and my previous radio and podcast shows are on that website as well. As always, Live with CDP Sports Talk is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen.com. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, winter tire clearance is on at Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Now's the time to save 13% on winter tires up until February 29th. Don't pay the tax on select in-stock winter tires at Barry Cullen Chevrolet with their brands, and write out the rest of the season with peace at Barry Cullen Chevrolet with their winter tire clearance on right now. So more details there at barrycullen.com. And I want to say thank you to Mark Cullen for sponsoring this show. And I really appreciate Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph. Great customer service, great product, and I highly recommend it as well. You can also follow me on TikTok at Live with CDP. I am a content creator, and I am on TikTok quite often with all my media work and my player and coaches interviews. So you can follow me on TikTok at Live with CDP, and again, hit the follow notification as well. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcasting such as yours truly, check out StreamYard.com. And you can also, for individuals, you can get a free plan. That's a free plan for $0 a month, or you can get a basic plan for $25 a month US, or you can do what I'm doing and get the professional plan at $49 US a month at StreamYard. They do have business plans there, so please contact the salespeople at StreamYard.com if you are looking for a great live stream provider for your business as well. And again, I want to say thank you to StreamYard.com. Great customer service, great product, and they're, to me, they're the number one live streaming company out there as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, the audio version is available on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, and on TuneIn as well. You can also email or text Live with CDP Sports Talk at cpalme19@gmail.com, or text the show at 519-820-7188. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, that would be greatly appreciated as well. And I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live stream show on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter/X, and on Instagram, and also on my audio platforms as well. And speaking of more sports, the Buffalo Bandits are back in action tonight, Friday, January 19th, 7:30 at the KeyBank Center in downtown Buffalo against those New York Riptide, who are 1-4 and are desperate for a win. The Bandits are coming off a big road win last week against the Rochester Nighthawks. Buffalo is 3-2, but right now, with these unified standings in the National Lacrosse League, only 8 out of 15 teams make the playoffs, and Buffalo's got to keep winning. So this game's going on tonight at 7:30. If you want to get down to the game in Buffalo, you can get tickets at bandits.com. That's bandits.com. And if you can't get down to the game will be on the CW23 network in Buffalo, as well as the Bet 1520 AM with play-by-play announcer John Gerkler, as well as Steve Bermel, who's their color analyst, along with Dave Buchanan, their sideline reporter. And if you've never been to a National Lacrosse League game or a Buffalo Bandits game, I highly recommend it. And they should have a good crowd there again tonight in Bandit Land. They really love their lacrosse in Buffalo, and they're a championship organization. They're the defending National Lacrosse League world champions, and they won 5 titles in their 31-year history as well. So check out the website is nll.com, or you can check out bandits.com as well. And really looking forward to that game as well. And I'm really, that's about it, guys. This is a solo show again today. I want to apologize. My guest, Ashley Baker, unfortunately, was under the weather. So I'm going to try to reschedule with Ashley in the future. She's a reporter with Fox Sports Radio 13 a.m. and 96.9 FM in the Washington, D.C. area as well. And you can also check out her Twitter Spaces. She is the host of Sports After Dark on Twitter Spaces, and she's a social media influence. And her show, Sports After Dark on Twitter Spaces, is on Sunday, Mondays, and Thursday. So we will definitely try to reschedule Ashley again on Live with CDP Sports Talk. And I want to say thank you, everybody, again for watching this live streamed and also on my audio platforms. And I'm hoping everybody has a great afternoon and enjoys those NFL divisional round games this weekend. Again, we've got Houston at Baltimore at 4:30. I almost said Cleveland. And then 8:15 we have Green Bay at San Francisco. And again, Sunday we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions at 3:00. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are in Detroit that same day at 7:00 against the Detroit Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. So it's going to be a Detroit Tampa Bay sports day in the city of Detroit Sunday. And then the last game, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott. What else can you say? The game will be on CBS Sports with Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson, the sideline reporter, who does a great job covering the National Football League for CBS. And I'm really looking forward to that game. Buffalo's capable of winning this game. But again, like I mentioned earlier in my show, I think they've got too many guys injured. I'm not making excuses for them, but if you're going to beat a Kansas City Chiefs team, even at home, you need to be healthy. And unfortunately, football is a very violent sport, and that's what happens with injuries. So, but it still should be a great game, and we'll see what happens. But again, I'm looking forward to my show tomorrow. Season 7, episode 28 tomorrow, Saturday, January 20th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern with Alex Gold, a radio host, radio personality with Cody Tapp on their show weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Kansas City on 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City. And Alex is going to come on and talk about the Chiefs, and we're going to preview the game between the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and get his thoughts as well. So that's about it. Again, guys, I want to apologize. Unfortunately, my guest Ashley Baker was not able to make it due to illness, and we'll try to get her on again in the future. And I am working on more new shows and new guests next week as well. And it's hard to believe this is 357 episodes completed since March of 2020. And I really want to say thank you to WQEE 99.1 FM, Ryan O'Neill, for having me on his radio station for almost a year now, and Barry Cullen Chevrolet for sponsoring this show as well. That's about it. I hope everybody has a great afternoon, great evening, and we'll see you here tomorrow for another edition of Live with CDP Sports Talk, again with Alex Gold from 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports Talk.